Hello my lovely people. In today's video we're going to be making this beautiful butterfly ruched skirt. Let me swing around so you guys can have a closer look. This is how it looks. We call it a butterfly ruched skirt. We've already made a live sewing session for the same skirt. Today we're making the same skirt on a shorter video. If you love sewing and making your own clothes, make sure to subscribe to the channel as we specialize in making sewing tutorials. Let's get on to making the skirt, shall we? To make the butterfly skirt, we're going to need the following measurements. We are going to measure the waist circumference, the hip circumference, the distance from the waist to the hip, and also the distance from the waist to the knee, and then from the waist up to the floor. We are going to start by taking the waist circumference. We are going to wrap the tape measure around the smallest part of our tummy. Make sure the tape measure is straight all around, and then you take that measurement. In my case, the waist circumference is 34 inches. Next, we are going to measure the hip circumference. We are going to wrap our tape measure around the fullest part of our butt, making sure the tape measure is straight all around. Next, we are going to take that measurement. In my case, it is 45 inches. Next, along the side, we are going to measure the distance from our waist to our hip. In my case, it is 9 inches like so. And then next, we are going to measure the distance from our waist up to the knee. And then you place your tape measure like that and measure the distance from your waist up to your knees. Hold the tape measure with one hand like that and then slightly bend and make sure that you hold the tape measure directly on your knees. In my case, the waist to knee length is 22 inches. And then lastly, we're going to measure the distance from our waist up to the floor. We are going to hold the tape measure in a straight line like that from the waist. And then we are going to step on it as I've done with my feet. And then next we're going to take the measurement. In my case, that distance is 40 inches. To make the butterfly ruched skirt, we're going to need about 2 meters or 2 yards of fabric, and we're going to make use of 2 elastic bands. The length of the elastic bands will entirely depend on you. In my case, I made them to be 16 inches. I found them to work better when they are 16 inches. Next, we're going to lay the fabric in order to start cutting it. We have folded the fabric on the correct side. This is the correct side and this is the wrong side of the fabric. The measurements that we're going to use are as follows. The waist circumference is 34 inches, the hip circumference is 45 inches, the waist to hip measurement is 9 inches, the waist to knee is 22 inches, the waist to the floor measurement is 40 inches. These are the calculations that we're going to make use of. We are going to divide the waist by 4, and 34 divided by 4 we get 8.5 inches, and then we're going to add an extra 7 inches for the flap on the side. And along the hips also we're going to divide 44 by 4 and the answer will be 11.25 inches, and then we're going to add the 7 inches for the flaps on the side as well. We're going to start by rolling out a straight line at the top, which will mark as the beginning of our skirt. From this line we're going to measure the waist to the hip measurement, which is 9 inches in my case. So we measure 9 inches, we make a mark, repeat the process. Join the points with a straight line like so. Next we're going to measure the waist to the floor circumference, which in my case is 40 inches like so. Join the points into a straight line. Next we're going to start taking the side measurement. Starting on the waist, we divided 34 inches by 4 and the answer is 8.5 inches. So we're going to measure 8.5 like so. And then from this point, we're going to add the 7 inches, which is going to mark the flap on the side. So we measure 7 inches like so, and then make another mark. Now along the hip area, we're going to divide 44 by 4, which is 11.25 inches. And then we're going to measure 11.25 inches like so, make a mark. And then we're going to add the 7 inches for the flap on the side, like so. Next, we're going to continue marking the 11.25 going down, make a mark, and also make another mark for the 7 inches. Do the same at the very bottom, 11.25 inches, and then 7 inches. Next, we join all these points with a straight line from the hip area going down. Make sure that you are using a tailor's chalk because you can wash it off. If you use a chalk that cannot be removed, then you will have a problem, especially because we are marking on the correct side of the fabric. Do the same here. Next, if you have a French curve, you can join this point to this point, but if you don't, you can use a freehand. If you don't have a French curve, it's easy. You can just draw the curve using a freehand as I'm doing now. It do the same along these 2 points. This is the front of our skirt. Next we are going to cut it off. Notice that I'm not leaving any sewing allowance. That's because the skirt is going to be shorter anyway. I'm going to gather it so it doesn't matter. We fold it and put it aside. Next we're going to fold the fabric again like this, making sure this is the correct side of the fabric, and we're also going to draw the straight line again at the top. Next we're going to measure 1 inch along the folded edge of the fabric. We are now going to cut out the back of our skirt. Next we join the points into a straight line. Now this 1 inch is going to be our seam allowance at the center and it will accommodate the zip. Next we're going to take the folded front of our skirt and put it on the back like so. Make sure that the front of the skirt is aligned with the markings on the back, especially the top. Next we're going to pin the front skirt on the back to cut the back of our skirt. Next we're going to cut open the center back like so. We are done cutting the back of our skirt. Next we're going to remove the front. Put it aside. And then again we're going to make the markings on the back of our skirt. Starting from the top, we're going to measure down the 9 inches like so. Make a mark. Make another mark. Join this with a straight line. And then of course we're going to mark the side measurements. Along the waist we said it is 8.5 inches. And then along the hip area we said it is 11.25 inches. And then we continue marking the 11.25 inches to the bottom. Join this with a straight line from the hip area. Next we're going to join the waist onto the hip. Next, along this marked area, we are going to measure down about 0.5 of an inch like so and make a mark. Next, we are going to cut open this part like so, like that. And then we put the back aside. We're going to do the same along the front. We mark down the 0.5 inches from the waist like that. Cut open. Okay. Next, we're going to put the front aside and start working on the back. We're going to separate the back of our skirt and place them like this. We're going to place them the correct sides facing each other this time around, like so. Hold down the center back of the skirt using some pins. We're going to mark the length of our zipper at the center back. In my case, I want the length of my zipper to be 7.5 inches. So I'm going to measure down the 7.5 inches across like that. Next, we're going to sew a straight line from this point going down, and the seam allowance, remember, is going to be 1 inch. This is how the back of the skirt looks after sewing the center back. We have also pressed it open like so. We have also overlocked the sides of the skirt and the center back and also the bottom of our skirt, and we have also overlocked this part from the cut area and even on the other side, as you can see. We have also done the same on the front. Next, we're going to hem all around the overlocked area. This means we're going to fold this inside like that and hem around, and also fold the sides like that, and we are going to sew all around the skirt. We'll do the same around the bottom of the skirt. We're going to fold it like that and sew all around it. Just in case you don't have an overlocker and you also don't have a zigzag stitch, what you can do is that you can take the sides and fold it twice like so, and then fold it again like that, and then you can start sewing all around. This is going to leave you with a neat hem, but in my case, because I have an overlocker, I'm just going to fold once and then sew all around the skirt for the front and also the back. This is the back, and this is how it looks after hemming all around it. The same has been done on the front. All the sides have been hemmed from the cut area right here, right round to the other side. Next, we're going to attach the back of the skirt onto the front of the skirt. Place the front like this. Next, you place the back, making sure that the wrong sides of the fabric are facing each other. Align the skirt correctly along the sides. Next, you can hold the skirt using some pins. Make sure that the top of the skirt is aligned like that, and then pin it together. Pin all around the marked area like so. Next, you're going to turn around the skirt as I'm doing now. Flip it over to the front, and then again make sure that you align the front and the back on the sides like so, and then hold the top aligning this like that. Pin the skirt. Pin it right down around the marked area like so. Next, we are going to sew a straight line along the marked area from the top right down to the bottom. And we're also going to do the same on the other side. Sew from the top right down to the bottom. This is how the skirt looks after sewing on the mark. We have also done the same on the other side. Next, we're going to sew another seam from the top right here, right round to the bottom, because we're creating a casing that is going to hold the elastic band like so. The casing is going to be 0.5 of an inch like that. We have since created the casing for our skirt. Notice that the casing is open like so. This is where we're going to insert our elastic band later on. The same was done on the other side. Next, we're going to put our skirt aside and then cut the waistband. We start by drawing a straight line like this one, and then we're going to measure 4 inches, make a mark, make another mark. Next, we join these 2 points using a straight line. Next, we cut out our waistband. The length of our waistband is 40 inches. It is slightly bigger than our waist, but it doesn't matter. We're going to trim off the ends when we are done inserting it onto the skirt. We have also cut out an interfacing to stabilize our waistband. Next, we're going to press these two using a steaming iron to make sure that they stick together. This is the waistband after pressing it using a steaming iron. Next, we are going to fold it into half like this, and then we are going to press it again in readiness to be inserted on our waist. This is the waistband after folding it in half. Next, we are going to insert it onto the skirt. We are going to fold the waistband into 2 like that. Next, we're going to make a mark right here by cutting like that. We're also going to do the same on the front of our skirt. We're going to fold it into 2 like so. Then we're going to make a mark right here. Next, we're going to start pinning our waistband from the center front like so. Pin it all around the waist. When you get to the side, make sure that you hold the front of our skirt like this, and then align the back on the front like that. Hold it tight with your hands, and then place a pin right here. Continue pinning all the way to the back. Do the same on the other side. Hold the front like this, and then making sure that you align the other piece together. Let them be side by side like so. And then hold them down with a pin like that. Continue pinning all the way to the back. This is how the side of the skirt will look. We're going to sew a straight line and cut across this place like so. This is how the waist looks. We have sewn the waistband onto the skirt. This is the side of the skirt. We've managed to close the gap that was here. Next, we're supposed to press the seam so that it faces up like that. That is what we have done. The next thing we're going to do is to fold the waistband like that to cover the seam. Like so. So that is our waistband. Next, we're going to sew along the ditch from this side all around to this other side, and that is going to secure our waistband in place on the inside. This is how the waistband looks. Now we are almost done with the skirt. We are going to cut off the excess of our waistband right here. Do the same on this other side. Trim off the excess. Next, we're going to insert our zipper right here. This is the skirt after inserting the zipper. As you can see, we can open it and we can also close it. Next, we're going to insert our elastic band along the sides. Next, we're going to insert our safety pin like so. We are going to insert the safety pin on the opening like that and push it in like so. You can use another safety pin to hold the elastic in place like so, to make sure that it doesn't go inside like that. And then continue pushing this one inside. Next, we're going to remove the safety pin like that, and then secure the elastic band using a pin like so. Do the same at the bottom. Remove the safety pin, and then hold down the elastic band using a pin like so. Next, we are going to secure the top and the elastic band and sew it closed like that. And we are going to do the same at the bottom. We are going to close the elastic band and sew across like that. Thereafter, we are going to do the same on the other side. This is the skirt. It is now complete, as you can see. Now we can rock it on and show you guys how it looks.